Hello students, we are in 19th lesson, that is post-war world and India. In this session, we will discuss related to non-alignment movement and Zionist movement. Non-alignment movement and Zionist movement. In our previous session, we have discussed about the conditions and circumstances related to Cold War, proxy war, how USA and USSR influenced other country to involve in the military alliances. We also have done about the military alliances like NATO, CETO, CENTO and Warsaw Pact. In this session, we will see about non-alignment movement. Non-alignment. Non-alignment movement. There was a complete tension in the world because of the two power blocks, USA and USSR. Some of the countries, they joined in the USA bloc, some of the countries were joined in the USSR bloc. But recently independent countries, those times are third world nations. We also discussed about third world nations. Third world nations are countries which they got independence after World War. These are called the third world nations. So these third world nations are, there was an ambiguity among the nations that either they have to join in USA bloc or they have to join in USSR bloc. And some of the countries, they didn't join anywhere because the rival ideological conflict rose, everyday tensions rose. So due to that, they didn't join in any of the group. Most of the countries, recently independent countries like India, Sri Lanka, Yugoslavia, Egypt, these countries, they didn't join. Especially these countries, whenever they decolonized, they wanted to remain isolated from these two groups. They wanted to isolate from those two groups, especially newly independent countries. And newly independent countries like India, Egypt and Kenya, these countries, Yugoslavia, these countries want to do something because they doesn't want to join in the USA bloc, they also doesn't want to join in the USSR blocks. So to prevent to join in this both the blocks, they have met. In 1955, recently independent countries, those countries got independent just recently. In 1995, the countries met at Bandung. The countries were met in Bandung. This summit is also called as Bandung Summit. 1955, a summit was held in Bandung. Bandung is located in Indonesia. Bandung is located in Indonesia. This summit also called as First Afro-Asian Summit. First Afro-Asian Summit. Why these are called Afro-Asian Summit? Because recently independent countries, most of the countries are Asian continent countries and remain countries where belongs to Africa. Hence, Afro-Asia or African and Asian countries, they met at Bandung in Indonesia 1955 to discuss related to the issues related to two power blocks, issues related to Cold War. Here 29 countries were attended. 29 countries represented. Yeah, 29 countries represented in this meeting, and most of the important persons of this meeting were, you know that Jawaharlal Nehru, Marshal Tito belongs to Yugoslavia. He belongs to Yugoslavia. Marshal Tito belongs to Yugoslavia. Gamal Abdel Nasser belongs to Egypt. Kwame Nkrumah we call actually. Kwame Nkrumah belongs to Kenya. And Dr. Sukarno, Indonesia. Yeah, so these are the important persons. Nehru, Marshal Tito, Gamal Abdel Nasser, Egypt, Kwame Nkrumah, Kenya, Sukarno, Indonesia, Marshal Tito, Yugoslavia. These people, they met in the Bandung summit, and they started for the discussion in related to non-alignment group, or because they doesn't want to join in the USA bloc, also they doesn't want to join in the USSR bloc. They wanted to isolate. You remember that isolate means not far from the both blocks. They want help from both the groups. They want the help from the USA bloc. They also want to maintain the same friendship from the USSR bloc. That is the concept of non-alignment. Yeah, what is their aim? What is their aim of the non-alignment countries? Very important for 1 mark, 2 mark. What is the main aim of the non-alignment group? Promote cultural and economical cooperation. Promote cultural and economical cooperation. Because you see, if they didn't join in USA will not help them. If they didn't join in USSR, USA never helped them. So that all the groups which they got recently independent countries, they wanted to help mutually. They wanted to share the cultural heritage. They wanted to share their economy also among them. So that is the main aim, to promote. It is to promote cultural and economical cooperation among the countries. Thus, this Asia or Afro-Asia or Asia-Afro summit was held. Most of the countries very much attracted towards to this non-alignment were African countries and Asian countries. African and Asian countries were attracted. Then after, in 1960s, in Belgrade, the meeting was held. Belgrade, first non-alignment summit. First non-alignment summit. It was held in Belgrade. Yeah, Belgrade. Yeah, where is Belgrade? Belgrade is in Yugoslavia. Belgrade is located in Yugoslavia. Belgrade is the capital city of Yugoslavia. In 1961, it was held in 1961. Very important. 1961 it was held. Its summit paid very much attention towards the Cold War situation. They wanted to discuss the Cold War concerns. First non-alignment summit was held in 1961 in Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia capital city Belgrade. They discussed about the concern related to Cold War concerns. What are the Cold War concerns? What was happening actually? Cooperation among the NAM. First one is cooperation among the non-countries. Especially newly independent countries. They wanted to discuss the cooperation among the NAM countries, especially newly independent countries. Next, Cold War tension and its impact. Cold War tension and its impact. They discussed that these are discussed in the Belgrade summit. And third one, to prevent the countries to do not join to the power blocks. Prevent the newly independent countries to do not join in power blocks. So these three are very important aims of the Belgrade summit. They discussed. Moreover, once you see in 2012, by 2012 it had 120 members. More than 120 countries were member. 120 countries they took membership in the non-alignment, and at the time 17 countries were observers. 17 countries were observing to join in this group, because if you join in the USA bloc, USSR may attack. If you join in the USSR, USA will be attacked. But this is a safe place. No one will be attacked. or both may be helped. Both countries, both blocks may be helped to these countries. So because of this, many countries from the USA bloc, from the USSR bloc, they came and finally they joined in the non-alignment group. Now, India emerged a key country to maintain this non-alignment group. India is very specialized in this because India known that from our ancient history onwards, we believed in peace. Indians believed in peace. Swami, Gautama Buddha, Vardhamana Mahavira, Ashoka, Mahatma Gandhi, they greatly believed in the peace. So that his responsibility was hand over to India, and India emerged a great country to hold this non-alignment responsibility. That you may have right. India emerged a great country to hold this responsibility on the shoulder to prevent wars, to join most of the groups from both the world blocks into this country. Out of 193 nations, 120 countries they joined behalf of India. But from USSR point of view, USSR always suspicious. USSR always suspicious. At the same time, US also suspicious. US believed that India is very close to USSR. USSR believes that India and all the group members are close to USSR. So these both people are suspicious. Both groups were suspicious on the non-alignment group members. US believed that close to USSR. USSR believed that close to USA. Okay? But NAM didn't close to anyone. NAM didn't stop the wars of its members. That is the main defect. If we talk defects, NAM didn't stop wars of its own member. Example, India-Pakistan. India-Pakistan both are the NAM members. India-Pakistan both are NAM members. Both we fought. Many times we fought. 1965 we fought. 1971 we fought. 1999 we fought. So it is certain demerits of the NAM. NAM it couldn't stop. NAM it didn't stop its own members' wars. It didn't stop. NAM didn't stop the war of Iran-Iraq war. Iran-Iraq war also we didn't stop. These members were NAM was failed. NAM was failed to prevent war between the Iran-Iraq. Moreover, but even some positives also there. NAM helped newly independent countries to do not join that bloc or these blocks because both the blocks were wanted to attract the country. They attracted much of the countries, but these NAM members were prevented that countries to do not join into the both power blocks. Nowadays, this NAM is emerging a great group which can be prevent the wars, which can be settle the disputes through negotiations and discussions. Okay, this is about NAM. Yeah, we can say that who is the chief architect of this NAM? Who was the chief architect of this NAM? We may say that obviously Jawaharlal Nehru, Prime Minister of India, he was the chief architect of this NAM. Let us see now West Asia. West Asia conflict. West Asia conflict is very important. West Asia conflict. West Asia conflict is very simple. It is a conflict between Arabs and Jews. Yeah, it is conflict between Arabs and Jews. Sir, what is West Asia? Very simple. West Asia is this part. This part is West Asia. This part is there, no? This part is we obviously we call as this part is. Yeah, this part is West Asia. This is the west side of India and this is West Asia. This is also called as Middle East. This is also called as Middle East. I repeat, this is called as West Asia. Like Israel, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia. So these places mostly we call as West Asia. Also we call as Middle East. So one problem arises in this place. What is the problem? Let us see. Yeah, it was a conflict between the Arabs and Jews. What was happened? It is mainly it was occupation of the Palestine. Occupation of Palestine inhabited by the Arabs. was under the control of British in World War II. Palestine is there, no, Palestine. Palestine, we can say that Palestine. Okay. Palestine, it is under the control of British during World War II. Palestine, mostly Arabs are living here. Arabs. Palestine, mostly Arabs are living. This Palestine was under the control of Britain. Under the control of Britain. Yeah. Under the control of Britain before World War II. Before World War II, Palestine was under the control of Britain. Okay, mostly Palestine, Arabs are there. You know that one of the places, holy place is there, that is Jerusalem. Jerusalem was the holy place. Jerusalem is the holy place for the Jews. Jerusalem is the holy place for Jews, for Christians, Muslims and other religions. Jerusalem is a place. We know that Jesus Christ born in Jerusalem, mostly believed. Jerusalem is a holy place for the Jews, Christians and Muslims. It's everything. But Jews consider that Palestine is their promised land. Jews consider that Palestine is their Jews considered that Palestine is their promised land, but they were exiled in ancient times to Europe and Asia. You remember, Jews considered that Palestine their promised land, but they were exiled to Europe and Asia. So most of the Jews were left to Europe, most of the Jews were left to Asia. Many of the members, they gone to Europe, gone to Asia due to certain problems. And Europe, they were prescribed as a Christians. Those people they went, in Europe, they prescribed as Christians. In Europe, these people were believed as Christians and responsible for the crucifixion of the Jesus Christ. Christians and responsible for crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Yeah. Most of the Christians, they believe that these Jews they punished the Jesus Christ. These Jews punished the Jesus Christ. Because of them only, lot of problems arise. Most of the people, they believe it, because Jews were considered the Palestine their promised land. They originally belongs to the Palestine, but they left to Europe and Asia. After the punishment, they gave punishment to Jesus Christ. That is called crucifixion of the Jesus Christ. And during after the World War, before Second World War or during Second World War, Germans, they killed Nazis. You remember, Germans killed anti-Nazis, or Germans killed Jews. So many Jews were killed by the Germans because of the Jews only German condition was worst. Okay, actually the reason is different. Okay, that is they were called as November criminals because they made a treaty on they made a sign on the treaty. Because of that, Germans were hatred towards to the Jews. Okay, these were one movement was started by the Jews because Jews were mostly killed in the Germany. Jews didn't have any respect in the Europe. Hence, most of the Jews they wanted to go to the Palestine and they want the Palestine their area as usual. The movement emerged among the Jews called Zionist movement. So I hope you understand this one. West Asia conflict between Arab and Jews. Palestine is a country now. These Arabs were living under the control of British before World War II. Jerusalem was the holy place. It was the holy place for the Jews, Christians, Muslims and etc. Jews considered that Palestine their promised land. That is their original land. But they were exiled. It means they were removed. They were removed from the Europe They were removed from the Palestine. Then they left to Europe and they went to Asia. In Europe, they prescribed as Christians. They believed as Christians, and they are the responsible for the crucifixion of the Jesus Christ. They are the responsible for the crucifixion of the Jesus Christ. And Germans also punished the Jews. Germans also punished the Jews. So due to that, Jews, they doesn't want to live in Europe or Asia. They wanted to go back to their native place. They wanted to go back to their places. So they have started one Zionist movement. Zionist movement. Yeah, Zionist movement. Zionist movement, because what is Zionist movement? Movement emerged among the Jews called Zionist movement. It is which called uniting all the Jews. They wanted to unite all the Jews across the world to go back to their place. To unite all the Jews and go to Palestine. Now, so what did you understand? Now Jews, they want their old land, and they are claiming that Palestine is their homeland. Palestine, because Palestine is their homeland. Yeah. Wherever they are going, they are not receiving proper respect. So that they wanted to go back to their homeland. So after the World War, after 1945, the demand was supported. Most of the demand was supported. After the 1945, demanded with the help of Western powers like America, France, Britain, everybody they are supporting to them. Everybody they are supporting them. But Arabs were not happy. Arabs were not ready to give their place. Arabs were already living there. So that became bone of contention. Arabs already living in the Palestine. Now Jews wanted to go there. Does Arab they will agree? No, Arabs were not agreeing about that. So that was the problem among the Jews and Arabs. Next step. There was a complication after the discovery of the oils. Oil discovered. Yeah, oil was discovered. When oil was discovered, then again they wanted to go because US and USSR both wanted to grab these oil resources. So USSR both very actively participating in the Zionist movement. Because the oil resources were attracted to them. Finally, in 1947, UNO, it was they divided this Palestine into two. UNO divided this Palestine into two. One is, Palestine. This is Palestine. Palestine for Arabs. This is called as Israel. But Palestine Arabs were not accepted. Arabs were not ready to give their land to the Israelis. So that was the problem. President of Egypt. Egypt President Nasser. Egypt President Nasser tried to unite all Arabs. Egypt President Nasser, he tried to unite all Arabs. Because Palestine was occupied certain land. So that in Egypt most of the members were Muslims. So President of the Egypt, President Nasser, tried to unite all Arabs, and he formed one Fedayins. Fedayins. Sir, what are Fedayins? Fedayin means suicide squads, bombers. These suicide squad usually they entered in Israel. They are dropping bombs. They entered illegally Israel. They are destroying the Israel. Next step. In 1956, bad incident was happened. It was Israel attacked Arab. Israel 1956, Israel attacked Arab with the help of the Western power. Israel attacked on Arab. Yeah, Israel attacked on Arab. Again, this problem came very great problem. Israel attacked on Arab. Then USSR, both they interfere in this matter. They were stopped the war. Finally, it was led for a ceasefire. It was completely led for a ceasefire. Ceasefire means they stopped the fire. Ceasefire means they completely stopped the fire. Israel withdraw its army. Israel, whenever these both were entered, Israel was withdraw its army in 1967. In 1967, Arabs attacked Israel once again. Now Arabs attacked Israel. Yeah, 1967, Arabs attacked Israel once again. Israel decided that offense is the best mode of defense. Israel believed that offense is the best mode of defense. It completely, then Israel attacked on Egypt. Israel attacked on Egypt. Sir, why Israel attacked on Egypt? Because Egypt is giving help to the Arabs. Egypt providing support, so that Egypt air base completely demolished. Air base of Egypt completely demolished by the Israel. That was the very biggest problem. That complete air force was damaged. Okay. It also occupied the territories of Gaza. Israel occupied Gaza, Golan Heights, and West Bank. Yeah. Whenever Israel attacked on Egypt, during at the time, they occupied some place of the Gaza, Golan Heights, Western Bank. They also occupied the Golan, Gaza, and West Banks. They were attacked. They were completely occupied. Moreover, Israel refused to give these territories to the Arabs. Even United Nations Organization also intervened in this problem. Israel occupied the Gaza, Golan Heights, and West Bank, but UN requested to give back. UN requested to give territories to Arab, but Israel was not accepted. Israel was refused. Israel believed that this may be act as a buffer zones. This may be act as a buffer zone, and they may attack on the Israel. So Israel did not give this Gaza, Golan Heights, West Bank areas to the Palestine. Then again this problem became very great problem, very big problem. Again it was came during at the time PLO. PLO means Palestine Liberation Organization. Palestinian Liberation Organization set up in 1964 in Jordan. Where is Jordan? Jordan. Same, it is in West Asia. Jordan, it is in West Asia. PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, it was set up in 1964. What is the aim? What is the aim of this Palestine? Because to regain lost territories. To regain lost territories without violence. Without violence, they wanted to regain the territories. Just now I told to you, Israel was occupied Golan Heights, Gaza, West Bank. So this PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, they wanted to reoccupy whichever the Israel was occupied, that they wanted to regain without violence. Without violence, they wanted to reoccupy. That was the main aim. But what happened? Yasser Arafat became a leader of PLO. Yasser Arafat became leader of PLO whenever he was pressurized the Arab to attack on them. Yasser Arafat forced the Arabs to attack on Israel. So that was worsened. Yasser Arafat forcing all the members to attack on the Israel, but some of the members they did not agree. Yasser Arafat only did the terrorism. Yasser Arafat did certain terrorist activities, bombings he did, and plane hijacking. Plane hijacking. I think you know the hijacking. Hijacking means, you know, they hijacked the plane. They hold the plane into their hands. Those people were, those members are there. They are the sports person. They are going to participate in the Munich Olympic Games. Munich Olympic Games. Players are going to participate into the Munich Olympic Games in 1972, which are held in the Munich of Germany. I repeat, Yasser Arafat was took hostage on plane. That is called hijack. Many of the sports persons were, some of the sports persons were killed. Some of the sports person taken into hostage. Finally, lot of problems were arose. So many problems and discussions were came. Many members and UN also forced the Yasser Arafat to give up the terrorism. Finally, Yasser Arafat gave up terrorism. Yasser Arafat gave up terrorism. Yasser Arafat completely, he was stopped the terrorism. After that, there was a discussion was started. Discussions were started among to the Israelis and Israel and Palestinians. Yasser Arafat peacefully negotiated with them. Israel agreed. Finally, Israel agreed to give voting rights. Agreed to give voting rights to the Arabs. Voting rights to the Arabs who are living in Palestine. Who are living in Israel area, especially Gaza, Golan Heights. Gaza and Golan Heights. I repeat, Israel agreed to give voting rights to the Arabs who are living in Israel. Where is Israel? Recently they occupied Gaza, Golan Heights, West Bank. There they gave voting rights to them. Israel agreed to withdraw the forces also from. Israel agreed to withdraw the forces from the West Bank and gave them voting rights. It was successful in the beginning. Then finally, Yasser Arafat became a representative from the Arab. Yasser Arafat became a representative of Arab. So children, this is West Asia conflict. This is West Asia conflict. I hope you understand this West Asia. I want to repeat this West Asia, simple. That is West Asia. West Asia located in the west side of Asia. You know that it was a conflict among to the Arabs and the Jews. Jews once upon a time they are living in the Palestine, but they left. They are living in the Europe and Asia. But now they wanted to come again to the Palestine. But Arabs were not accepting. So that Zionist movement was started by the Zionist movement was started by the Jews. They wanted to unite all Jews. So this is called as Zionist movement. But Arabs were not accepting. Finally, United Nations Organization, 1947, they divided into two countries. One is this is Israel. Israel for the Jews and Palestine for the Arabs. Arabs were not accepting. Why you gave our area to them? They are not accepting. So these both are fighting. These both countries are fought even today. Even today, this fighting is going on like India, Pakistan fighting. And finally, Yasser Arafat, Game, Abdul Nasser also tried to resolve the problem. But temporarily this problem was solved. But frequently this problem also comes certain times. Still like India, Pakistan. However, they use words between these two countries. These two countries also now uses words frequently. Thank you children. Thank you very much.